Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 3 p.m. here in Chicago, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Thursday, April 1st, 2021. It is April Fool's Day, a holiday that I used to really enjoy. This year, I was like, I'm not feeling it. And it seems like a lot of people out there as well are not feeling it either. So I don't know if we're just not in the maybe we're all aging together and like we've lost some of the novelty. There are some companies out there that are still doing stuff. I mean, like, just seems like it wasn't that long ago that wasn't it Killian that announced his retirement and so he could spend more time fishing, and we all thought that was really funny. And now it's just like I'm just like, April Fool's Day. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys into it? Are you still loving April Fool's Day? I didn't see anything all that like great. I saw two trail shoe companies both make April Fool's Day press releases that they are going to be selling dog shoes for like trail shoes for dogs. So I thought that was funny that they both had like the same idea at the same time. But other than that, and I thought those were cute, but I was just like, it wasn't like I used to enjoy it so much more. I don't know what's going on. Today is Thursday, so I'm going to enjoy a recovery beverage for happy hour. Today I'm drinking Two Brothers Pale Ale Pinball. They're out of Warrenville, Illinois, which is in the area. And it's a beer that I've had a couple of their beers before. I don't think I've had this pinball beer before. So I'm going to be trying that. And its alcohol is 4.9% by volume, 31 IBU. So it should be pretty smooth. And it says it's a juicy pale ale. Juicy. It's like a funny word that I feel like they say that in a lot of beers these days. Juicy. And it says, from the moment pinball is shot out of the can, this pale ale takes your taste buds on a ride, bouncing between bumpers of tropical and citrus fruit notes, while perfectly riding the rail between hoppy and malty. Special when lit. That's interesting. That description doesn't match this can very well at all. I feel like this can is a little bit of a disappointment compared to the description, because that description sounds delicious. So let's see how it is. While I'm letting this breathe, for a second there. Just kidding. I'm not really making it breathe, but I do want to make sure I say hi to everyone listening on the audio version on the podcast. Hopefully you guys are having a good run out there today and enjoying the weather. It's cold here in Chicago. It's strange. Like I said, the Cubs always have like a weird weather day for like opening day. Today is opening day, I believe, for I think it's a home opener for the Cubs. And it's cold and windy, below freezing today. For the temperatures for my run for sure, and very, very strong winds. So yeah, I was in a winter hat and a full neck gaiter, and I had my mittens on for today. Hopefully it's not like that for you guys listening on the podcast. And for everyone watching this on YouTube after the fact, hopefully you're having a good day too. Hopefully you're at a point where you can relax at the end of your day. With that, I'll say cheers to everyone here. Let me know what else you guys are drinking too. If you guys have your recovery beverages or your recovery beverages, hope you're enjoying. This is delicious. This is really nice. This tastes. This is kind of like having not had kombucha before, if you told me this was kombucha, I'd say, oh, this is tasty, because it has kind of like that kind of taste to it. It's very lightly carbonated. It's hardly carbonated at all. And it has like a little bit of like a tea kind of like bitterness to it, with a hint of sweetness to it as well. And so, yeah, I like it. The description I don't think matches this beer either. So like this beer suffers from like a major identity problem, because this can does not match the description of the beer and does not match the taste of the beer. But the taste is delicious. I mean, it does match the description of the beer in the sense that there is tropical and citrus notes, and it does balance between malty and hoppy. I'd say it's like lightly hoppy. It's good. It's just a good beer. I think this could be a great summer beer. And so I would think of this as more of being like outside rather than inside, like a dark, dingy, like arcade. So that's kind of how I feel about it. So, but either way, it's a tasty beverage. All right, let's see who is here today. Phillips here says, good day, Kafuzian's here today because he has a problem spending way too much money on running. He managed to order the next percent 2 for just 200 euros. Nice. Good job. I think a lot of people are excited about that one. And he says that the temps are dropping again as well for him. And when those next percent twos arrive, break them in with a 5K time trial. Awesome. Very nice. And it says, hi, Kapuzi and everyone. If the easy days are going to be easy, we had better make the hard days hard. 4 miles on the trails at 6:31 pace. What? Nice work. That's nice, Ennis. That is making the hard days hard. Good job. Jeff Elliott says, hello. Kiefer says, hello again, fellow ice cream connoisseurs. All right, you know what? I think we need to get some ice cream on the mukbang at one point. We'll see. I've got something fun planned for next Monday's mukbang already. I'll let you guys know about that as we get closer. So a little bit of time out for that. But yeah, that'll be fun. Recycle Our Wednesdays here. JC says hello and happy opening day. He's ready for some baseball. He got the baseball and the hot dog emoji. Awesome. Siam says LFG with a baseball emoji at the end of that too. Nice. David probably says happy hour. Cheers. He's got green tea. Nice. That's delicious. I very at the last minute, like I was like, maybe I should switch out for coffee today because it's a sleepy day at my house. Even my daughter fell asleep for a little bit. The baby didn't because the baby just refuses. But as a matter of principle, she won't fall asleep during the middle of the day. But my daughter kind of like, we were all just kind of like hanging out. We've been binge watching Peabody and Sherman. There's been a reboot, and then we watched the movie. There's like a new movie of it, or newer, and it's really good. I like it. I don't like the way that some of their depictions of Asians, I think, is a little bit problematic. But otherwise, in the most part, I do like the show, and it was good. But we were binge watching that, and I fell asleep a little bit while watching it, and then my daughter fell asleep while watching it too. So I was like, oh, it was a sleepy day. So I was like, I was chugging coffee before I was drinking my beer for today. So that's where I'm at for happy hour today. But this beer is really good. I could definitely go for a growler of this. Big fan. It's good. Very, very good beer. Albert Lung is watching baseball and says, happy Thursday, friends. What's going on, Albert? Terrence says he can't stay, but the Saucony Axon is on Saucony's website for order for those interested. Terrence, was that you mentioning it the other day? I was thinking about that again since we talked. I'm not sure I'm going to pick it up, but it's just an interesting shoe, and I love the idea that it's coming out at the $100 price point. I feel like, with shoe prices creeping up, I think that the baller move for a lot of shoe companies right now is going to be kind of like what Reebok's doing already. Because I just bought I bought one more Reebok shoe. I was going to keep it a secret for you guys to make it a surprise. But I did buy the Float Ride 3, Float Ride Energy 3. And I think I bought it at $110 or something like that. And I'm like, that's just an amazing price point. And I know Nike has some of their shoes, like the Windflow is always low and near that price point. They've always got they've got all their other shoes, but there's always one shoe that's a good, versatile shoe that's going to appeal to a lot of people at a low price point. I feel like every company should have one. I feel like that's the power move. And if the Saucony Axon is good, that could be it for them, But so I don't know. I'm going to keep an eye on that one. All right. Well, a lot of people here. Sorry, I'm real far behind on comments, so I'm going to try to keep up, guys. Oh, not really. Hank Aaron's going for a lamb and Guinness tonight. That sounds delicious. And he says message retracted. So that's a nice, funny April Fool's Day joke. That's nice. You had me on that one. I was like, wait, lamb and Guinness. That doesn't sound like something that you would eat, but no, okay. You got me. Kevin Bickerton's here. Spence Ohms. Bart Osh says, hey, Mike, what's going on? Rick Sutter says, hey, everyone. Happy Thursday. Nice. All right. What was that? Oh, Emma Wilhelm's here again. Good to see you, Emma. She says, hey, all, happy Thursday. Was able to get a first order of the vax this week in Dallas. Awesome. That's fantastic news. My wife just got home a little while ago, right when the live stream started. And she just came back from her appointment where she got her first dose. So things are happening. And my mom's already when are you going to get yours? She didn't say it that way, but she sent me a text this morning. When are you going to get your vaccine? We're coming as soon as you get it, because they miss. I mean, we spent so much time with my in-laws, but my parents haven't gotten to see the kids and or me or my wife in a long time. So they're very eager to travel. Scott's going to try something. Going to be running while listening. Nice. Let's know how it goes, Scott. He says, looking forward to a long and very disappointing season for the Texas Rangers. That's funny. All right, let's scroll down a little bit. Oh, Matt LeGrand says, happy April 1st, Co. What's going on, Matt? How are you? Good to see you. Not really Hagar. Instead, not having lamb and Guinness, he's having plain water out of a Pico de Gallo bottle. I like that. There was a period of time where I didn't have very many cups or mugs, and I just used like glasses, like jars of stuff that I would eat. I would save that as drinkware, and then my wife found me, and then I started having like regular cups and stuff. So, yeah, I think about it not frequently, but when I think about it, like when my wife like met me, I feel like I was like definitely like a lost puppy, you know, and she kind of picked me up, brushed me off, you know, and she really saved me. So, but yeah, I'm not saying that you need saving, Hank Aaron, but drinking out of like a salsa mug or something like that, that brings back memories for me. Chris Dyke said, the long weekend fast approaching. Is there a bank holiday coming up? I keep seeing stuff on Twitter about the long bank weekend that people are getting ready for. And I don't know what that is. Is that just like a commercial holiday for you guys? I don't know. Oh, there's my mom. Hi, Mom. How are you? I'm still not, as far as, we're gonna have to wait till I get the vaccine too, and I'm still not eligible for the vaccine. So I'm in the 16% of Chicagoans that are not currently eligible for the vaccine. So I think it'll be soon. I think it'll be faster than we realize, but it is very frustrating because it feels like everyone else is getting it except for me. So, yeah. Matt says Alberto Salvador's back. His ban has been lifted. That's a good one. I'm surprised I didn't see that, but I feel like a lot of people would have been. I feel like that would have been like, too soon, guys, too soon. I think a lot of people were pretty fired up one way or the other on both ends of that. That is a really good one. Bert Legas says just plain water today. I was listening to the Rich Roll podcast, and I do really like. I'm finding that I'm starting to like that Roll On. He has that like banter, like the 2-person kind of like weekly update thing that going on with Adam. What is it? Skolnick. And I'm finding that I like that just as much as I like his like deep dive interviews, like long form conversations with like other luminaries. And so I was listening to that, and he was telling me about. I was running and listening to him describe sparkling water that comes in like a can that is made to look like basically like Old English. The malt liquor, and it's called Liquid Death, and it's just sparkling water, but it's served in a can that looks like it's like basically like Monster Energy drink or something like that, or malt liquor. And when I don't know, I was listening to the description of it. I'm like, that's great, I think, but at the end of the day, it's just unflavored LaCroix. So I'm like, I'm not sure if that's awesome or terrible. I don't know. But I'm like, if I saw it, I might try it. But like, right now, anything that I want to try, I got to buy a case of because I'm not going into stores still. So it's not like I can go through and be like, well, I'll try one of these and one of those and one of that. I miss that so much. I'm the guy that loves rummaging through like a bin of things, like Black Friday sales, like those kinds of things. I love it. My mother-in-law used to work at Walmart, and she would tell me that when those bins where you could like dig through the thing for a DVD, when they arrive at the store, they're neatly arranged by like video title. And then one of the associates there has to intentionally go through and mix and shuffle them all. So that way someone has to go through and look through them all and just like dig to see what's in the big box. Because it comes in a neatly arranged fashion. But the whole selling point of it is people want to find the treasure. And so like they make it more interesting for people. That's me. I want that. And so like I love going to like the running store. I love going to like Whole Foods, like that. They have that giant cooler of drinks, and you can just go through and pick one. Oh, I miss that so much. I just miss rummaging. Oh, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to rummaging a lot. I don't know. All right, Scotty B says the Twins are up 3-1 over Milwaukee bottom of the fourth. Tailwind recovery for him today. Nice. I caught a game in at the Brewers Park. It's a great place to watch baseball. It's a really enjoyable place to watch baseball. I don't think I've ever seen a Twins game in person though. I'm these days, I don't follow many professional sports at all these days. I just don't have enough energy, I think. But something I do still love doing is watching baseball in person. And I actually like it the more, or like the less professional, the better. In St. Louis, I went to a lot of Cardinals games too when I was in St. Louis, but I also went to a lot of minor league games, a lot of minor league teams in the area. And it was just a lot of fun. Just like you get so much closer to the action and it just feels more like a pure version of the sport. That's something that I feel like, I don't know, like the spectator level of it. I was thinking about it today again, because I was listening to, I think I was listening to the Road to the Olympic Trials or Road to the Trials. It's not Road to the Olympic Trials because he doesn't have the permission to use the word Olympic. He wrote to the trials that Matt Chittum is putting on, and he had, I forget her name. She's trying to make the team for the 800, maybe the 400. And she was saying like how she was at Texas Relays, and the Texas Relays were last weekend. But I'm like, no one really watched that. And people didn't watch it like they watched the Trials of Miles thing because those things take all day, right? So it's not like spectator friendly. It's not like a Diamond League meet or anything like that where it's like packaged and broadcast into like a more like digestible format. And I feel like no one's really still solved like the conundrum of like how do you make track or running a more spectator friendly sport. And that's something that I don't know why, but I spent a lot of time thinking about, but I don't know the answer to that. But like baseball, I do love watching baseball live, but I think that like, as much as I like the rawer the baseball, the better, there's definitely a diminishing return once you get like below high school level. When you're watching like kids play baseball, it's cute if you know the kids that are playing. But like when I go to like my nephew's games and stuff, it's like when my nephew's not like in the field or if he's not batting, I'm like, oh, this is hard to watch other people's kids play baseball. This is very boring. All right. Matt LeGrand is drinking coffee right now until it's beer time over on the West Coast. Makes sense. PG 1980 says, "Hey, Fuzzy, how's it going? I got a really nice 10K today. Awesome. All right. I'm gonna scroll down a little bit because I'm way behind on some of the chat. So I wanna keep up with you guys. I can't remember. Bright says, "Not many better ways to kill an afternoon than catching a ball game." I would agree with that. I do enjoy that. I do live very close to Wrigley Field. We could see it from our house. Like there's Wrigley Field. Most people are like, where? I'm like, if you look over there, so we could see it, but like it's far. But yeah, that is another great place to watch baseball. Mm-hmm. Will Willing says, I saw Seth did a video of the Magic Speed, the new ASICs you were interested in yesterday. He compared it to the Hyperion Tempo, the Mach 4, and the Orphan Speed, all the same weight. Yeah, I saw that video. He must have had his for a long time because both his Metasky video and this one, he's already got it to his full review. So he's got 100 miles in those shoes combined. So he definitely got his early. ASICs prioritized him over me. Makes sense. I'm not mad about it. Totally makes sense. I tried to buy them this morning, but they weren't for sale yet on the ASICS site. So I must have, gotten there just a little bit early. So I'll take another look after the live stream's over to see if it's available. Hopefully it's not sold out already by now because I'm pretty excited about it. And that makes sense because I got the briefing on it. I had a meeting with ASICS, which was nice. I don't frequently get that, but I sometimes get that with a product. And they talked to me about like the Metaspeed Sky, the Magic Speed, Metaspeed, the other one, Edge, and then the Magic Speed. And so like when they told me about it, I was like, oh, this is great. This is exactly what I've been looking for. So I'm very excited about that one. I can't wait for it. That's why I was trying to buy it because they said they would try and get me a pair, but I'm like, I'm not gonna wait. I'm not gonna wait for them. I'm not gonna wait because I want it. That's what I want. All right. Alan Shrimpton says, "Hey, happy Easter Friday in New Zealand." Yeah, you guys are ahead. You guys are already at Good Friday. Awesome. Thank you. Christian says, I almost went to Bullitt University, pretty close to Milwaukee. Students had desks made out of local beer cases. Did they really? Oh, man, that's funny. Milwaukee, they're the Brewers, right? For their baseball team. So it definitely is a beer drinking town. And something that I didn't really notice until someone told me about it when I went to the game at Miller Park, was that the Milwaukee Brewers, the logo, it's like a baseball mitt with a ball in it in the mitt, you know? It spells the letters M Milwaukee and Brewers. And it's like M and B. I didn't know that. It was pretty clever. It's interesting. Beloit, we used to play Beloit. I remember our school, they would play them in basketball. I don't remember if we ran against them or not. I'm sure we did, but I remember in college, Washi would play them in basketball. That's the only reason I know anything about Beloit University. And I keep thinking it's supposed to be spelled Bilwa, but I think it's Beloit. I think that's how they say it. Maybe you would know, Chris, since you almost went there. And it says, good to see the Mach 4 video today, Mike, but now I really want a pair. Do you think they'd be good for treadmill use? I think so. I mean, they're like, when I looked at the numbers, I usually go off of Running Warehouse, usually has stack height numbers. So I usually go off of them. And when they said that it was 35-30 for the stack height on that shoe, I was like, that doesn't seem right. If I were to guess, I would have guessed I don't know, like 32-27, 30-25, because it doesn't feel like a very tall shoe at all. I'm guessing part of that is because, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how to be honest, frankly, I don't know how much how the rubber comes into play when you're measuring stack heights. I think the rubber is still included. But in another event, it doesn't feel like a tall shoe. And normally I don't like tall shoes on the treadmill, but I think this one could really work. Yeah, it's a sleeper shoe in a lot of ways. And the thing is, I've been seeing them on the lakefront like crazy. Right now on the lakefront, the Mach 4 is the shoe that I'm seeing the most of. Second place would probably be Infinity version 1. But the shoe I'm seeing the most of is that Mach 4. And then third place would probably be a Peg 30. I think it's the Peg 35s that people are still running, or the Peg 36s, one of those two. I see a lot of that along the lakefront too. So there are people have found out that it's a good shoe. It's a very good shoe. Martha says, I think you're right. Beloit rhymes with Detroit, both in opposition to their French roots. That's so funny. I never thought of it that way. Yeah, I guess Detroit. No, I've never thought of Detroit and looked at it and said Detroit, but now I can't not see it there. Greg Tahara says Mach 5 go spend racer. Nice. I think I don't know if you meant to say spend racer or speed racer, but I think for next year's Mach, we're gonna definitely have to do something, make a speed racer version, because I'm pretty sure Hoka's not gonna make one. But I think we gotta get some speed racer magic going on that one. I think their nod to tell people hey, we want you to do this is if one of the launch colors is white, white, red, white, and blue. Yeah, for sure. Roberto Davila wants to know Mach 4 or Clifton 7. A lot of people have been asking that. A lot of people have been asking about that on Twitter. And I think that I don't think it necessarily has to be either or. Personally, I think I'd prefer the Mach 4 over the Clifton. I like the later Cliftons. I liked the Clifton 6. I really liked Clifton 7. Before that, the only other Clifton I tried was the Clifton 1 reboot. I didn't like that one. And so that's kind of where I am on the Clifton. So the way I see them, I think of it as I don't want to say good, better, best, but I think the way that you can look at it is it goes from Clifton, I think could be a long run, easy run, recovery run shoe. Think of that for someone maybe that's running a little bit faster, more shorter distances. Maybe that's even like the Bondi or the max cushion of the bunch. So it goes Clifton, Mach, and then Carbon X2. That I think is a nice set of shoes right there. And I think those three shoes can take a lot of people through an entire, I don't know about year, but definitely an entire season of training. So I would think of those shoes that way, right? So then the most cushioning that you need, you put in the Clifton. And then if you want to go for your easy days that are not recovery runs, that might have some marathon pace work in it or a long run, then you do the Clifton, and then you do the Mach 4. And then for your speed work, you do the X2. Now, I think that the Mach 4 and the Clifton overlap a substantial amount, a lot. So like, I don't know that people need to get all three, but I think either the Clifton and the X2 or the Mach 4 and the X2, both of that makes a lot of sense to me. That's how I kind of feel about it. So, but if you're asking me which I prefer the Mach. Cameron Brian wants to know Mach 4 or Tim's. That's tougher because then we got to talk about different use cases. I'll tell you what. Right now, my Timberland boots, I don't have like Timberland boots. I have like the like Timberland's like more like modern silhouette, basically like a casual boot. It basically looks a little bit more like a hiking shoe with like a Tim styled upper. I think I made a video about them, but they're starting to get a little bit old. They're starting to get a little bit worn down. The rubber treads on the outsole, as thick as the lugs were, are wearing down. And right now, I think I'd rather, when I go outside with the kids, I think I'd rather be in the Mach 4 than in the Tims. So right now, with the condition my Tims are in, I'm actually leaning towards the Mach 4. All right, Matt says, oh, I didn't know this. Oh, I'm usually so good at the 10,000 like watch. But Matt says, Ryan Clayton's channel just crossed the 10,000 mark. Super pumped for him because I really love the channel. He's been doing some fire shoe reviews lately. I think it's been a really great move for him to get away. I mean, not that I think it's bad that he was only reviewing ultra shoes, but I think it's been really good for him as far from the YouTube perspective. And I think also it just invigorates his running in a little bit of a different way for him to get out there and try different stuff. And so I think that's been really good. And it's just still so shocking that his channel didn't already for a long time have 10,000 subscribers. That's like the bigger thing for me, but I'm glad to see that he's there. And it says, if there was a crime on the lakefront, the police would be, can you describe the runner that did it? The answer would be no, but he was wearing Peg 35s. I mean, that'd be a pretty good description, I think, but yeah, I think that would definitely come up. It would be like, yeah, I think that's the person. Well, I would recognize, I mean, I feel like I recognize all the regulars. I mean, there's people that I don't see regularly, but like you can certainly tell when someone's out of place there context wise, when I'm out there early in the morning. So there are times where, there have been times where I'm out there and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. And I'm kind of like scoping like top, pants, height, shoes, but fortunately that's never been needed for me to recall that information. But I do look at everyone's feet when we're running. There's also a lot of ASICs that are out there too, but there are a variety of types, and some, ASICs make so many different models that like maybe those are Cayenos, maybe those are Nimbuses. I don't know. I have a hard time sometimes picking them apart. And then there's like, the tons of different kinds that they sell at like Champ Sports or on Amazon or who knows, and they're not really like labeled that well. I don't know. But yeah, I would definitely, the police would be like, that's a very strangely specific. Yeah. I mean, sometimes I try to recognize shoes by the footprints that I see. So I can tell that there are a lot of Under Armour runners out there. I don't know when they run. They're not running when I'm running, but I do see the footprints out there. Ben Y says, I'd like to see how the Mach 4 hold up. Usually hesitant to try Hoka. Can't afford Rincon-esque durability. Yeah, I was saying just the other day, I saw a dude at the park, the playground with his kids. He had Rincon, I think they were Rincon 1s. And they had a hole over like the pinky toe. And I was like, oh, I haven't seen one of those in a while. And I know people had a variety of, it was a wide range of experiences durability-wise with the foam on the Rincon 1. And so I'm on my Rincon 2. I didn't experience that issue with my Rincon 1, but I ran to 100 miles, and I felt like most people didn't experience that problem until afterwards. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what's going on with the Mach. I suspect that the durability on this is going to be pretty good, just because the outsole that's on it is a rubberized EVA. Those tend to last a little bit longer, kind of like React foam. They tend to last a little bit longer. So I'm not too worried about that one. Jennifer Herring says, my feet are really enjoying the Nova Blast. I ran every one of my 36 marathons in ASICs. Everyone has to find what works for them. Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. Yeah. And what was I listening to today? Where someone was like, once you get a pair of shoes you like, just buy a whole bunch of them because they're always changing them. You find what you like, buy multiple of it. That's what I used to tell my wife with shoes all the time. Because she always have a hard time with shoes. And not just running shoes, but especially with like her work shoes. It would be, but this was before we had kids and we had time to spend all day going to different stores and trying on shoes and stuff. And I'd be like, next time you find a pair of shoes you like, you're just going to buy all the inventory of them. I don't care how much it costs because we're just going to leave it because we're just going to do that. Save ourselves a lot of time because once you find ones you like, every time we go, it's always like, no, I just want ones like the ones I have. So I don't know. MC1796 says, it's exciting that ASICS has a super shoe now, but I'm excited to see if Nike/Adidas can raise the bar with Adios 2 or the Adios X and the Alpha Fly 2. Yeah, I haven't seen anything on the Alpha Fly 2 if there's going to be an update to that. Is there going to be an Alpha Fly 2, kind of like the Next Percent 2, just like a little bit of an upper change? I can't imagine they're going to change a whole bunch with the Alpha Fly. I mean, what else do they need to change? I mean, it's a great shoe already. I don't know how they're going to change it, but I like it the way it is. I can see them trying to change it in a way, maybe stripping out some of the rubber on the outsole, making it a little bit lighter. Because it does seem like a lot of the fastest half marathoners are not picking the Alpha Fly. And I don't know if that's something that bothers Nike or not. I don't know if they wanted everyone in, like, if they wanted everyone to buy the Alpha Fly and like there's a Next Percent 2 because they're like, I don't know, people are buying all these Next Percent still. Well, what the heck? I don't know if they're surprised by that. And so like they didn't want to make another Next Percent, but they did. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see. The Adios 2 and the X, I'm super excited about that. And I'm glad that they're not all coming out now, and that's not going to come out till later in the summer, because like I just bought like 5 pairs of shoes because I was like, I can't keep waiting for people to send me these. I'm just gonna start buying them. Plus, I'm also getting to the point where I'm like, it's just a lot easier for me to just buy the shoe myself. It gets expensive to review all the shoes, but I'm like, in the overall scheme of thing, it's a lot cleaner if I can just pay for it myself. So I'm going to try to, at least with shoes, buy more of them myself, unless it's someone sending them to me early. So I'm going to try that. So we'll see if I can keep affording that, if that makes sense. But I'm super excited because like everything is getting a drastic overhaul from Adidas, at least in terms of the shoes that I care about. Like, yeah, the Solar Boost coming back for a Solar Boost 3. I'm not that excited about it. The Ultra Boost 21, I wasn't that excited about. I like running in it. I look forward to finishing running in it. I look forward to running 100 miles in them. I think I've got like 60 miles to go on it though, because I do want to wear them around casually. I do like them. And they're not my favorite running shoes, but what I am excited about is like the Boston, which I think they should just call the Boston X. They're on number 10. I mean, as much as X is kind of like silly, I really do feel like they should call it the Boston X. But, and maybe also have a Boston 10. One Boston 10 that's like more like a Boston Purists. And then a Boston X, which is going to match like some of the rest of the craziness going on in the line. I'm excited to see what's coming on with the new Adios, because I feel like the Adios is pretty stagnant, if not going in the wrong direction from the 4 to 5. I just felt like it was getting thinner and thinner and thinner. And I don't know. And then the Adios Pro and like the Adios Pro 2 and the Adios X. I don't know what they're calling that, but yeah, I'm pretty excited to see. They're going to be crazy. I don't know if that's crazy good or crazy bad or just crazy and weird. But either way, I'm excited for it. Brian E says, the police have told me that a good tip to help identify someone who committed a crime may change shirt or pants, but apparently don't change shoes often. There you go. There you go. That's nice. I have not thought about that. All right. Whatever happened to e-tonics? Oh, I remember that. I don't know. That's a good question. Will Willing says, have you put any more miles in the second SL20? I haven't. I want to, but there's just a lot of shoes in my closet right now. I just got rid of a couple, just because I'm like, I'm not gonna get to these. But yeah, I do want to put some more. I think probably I want to try and get the Invincible run, that 100-mile video out quick. And then probably at that, because like anytime that I would probably reach for the SL20, I'm like, I need to run into Invincible. I need to get that video out soon. And Jordan Thomas says, skip running 100 miles in the Ultra Boost 20. What's going on, Jordan? Good to see you, man. Thanks for the super chat. Says, skip running 100 miles in Ultra Boost 21 and go straight for the lifestyle. Hope you and your family are well. Maybe. I mean, maybe. There, you know, that's not I don't think you're wrong on that, because I'm not loving running in it. And there's lots of other shoes that are kind of like in the same category that I am much more excited about. And I do just want to walk around. I just want to go to the park with the kids and that. So I don't know. I'm not sure I'm ready to give up on that Ultra Boost 21 quite yet. I'll take a look at it. If I'm still really far off, if I'm only like 30 miles in when I look at it, maybe I will. But if I'm like closer to like 60 or 70, then maybe I'll just tough it out. You know, not that it's like this chore, but I think you're right, George. I think you're right, Jordan. You're always right, man. That's yeah, for sure. Like, because lately, what my kids, this hasn't been me pushing the kids, but we've been going to the playground in the park during my daughter's like recess time. So when she's doing virtual school, she gets like her lunch and recess. Well, she has like a lunch time, and like the recess time is like weird the way they have it. Hold on, right? 1 second, guys. Hey, give me that. No. All right, guys. Sorry about that. The dog, the sneaky dog. He's feeling good when he's getting saucy. My daughter, the baby, left her lunch on the coffee table, and the dog waits for people to not pay attention. He jumped up there, smacked it down, and he was eating chicken nuggets. So I had to go stop him. Yeah, Ryan Loma, you had it right. The dog took something. So I had to go dig it out of his mouth. I had to get in there. Fortunately, he's never been food aggressive, so I'm lucky about that. But I see what you did. Look at him. But so back to my story about the kids. We go to the park, and during her lunchtime, we go play outside because it's long enough. If we do that, if we hurry up and go, we can get some park playground time. And then I usually just feed her lunch, and I let her eat during class because it's virtual school. I don't care. And so they've been going to the park, and they like to race each other and me. So I'm like running, and I'm running in these like Timberland boots. And I'm like, this isn't comfortable. I need some shoes. But like the only shoes right now that I just finished running 100 miles in are like the Fresh Foam More Trail. And I'm just like, I don't want to wear those. I'd rather just run in the Timberland boots. So I'm like, as soon as those Ultra Boosts are done, I'm gonna go to the playground in those. So that was a long way to saying that. But the dog is still circling the table. He's wondering if there's anything else up there. Bert says, how many nuggets did he manage to eat? He got one that was partially eaten. There was 2 left, like 1.5 left. He got one that was partially eaten. There was a whole one deep in his throat. Like he was going to swallow it. I don't think he was going to bother chewing it, but I went in there and I got it out. Greg says, speaking of dogs, walked mine in the Ekinen Alpha Flies. Looks like yesterday for my workout, I wore the Adios Pro for the workout because I'm going to compare them to the Meta Speed Sky. I'm going to do the 10K time trial this weekend in the Meta Speed Sky. And so I did my workout this week in the Adios Pro, and I came back and the dog was like dying to go. Sometimes I walk him before I go for my run. Sometimes he can wait till after. I probably should have walked him before, but by the time I get back, he was like dying to go. But I'm like, I can't walk the dog in these like sunrise colorway Adios Pros. People are going to be like, what the heck is that? So I should have just done it. I feel like that's kind of like a borderline. Like, I mean, we should just, Greg, we could start like a crazy rich runerations kind of like thing. Not that we're rich, but I mean, there's like a weird eccentric Asians thing where we're just walking dogs, like picking up maybe not showing the dog poop, but like walking our dogs in racing shoes. I think that'd be pretty funny. Yeah. Yeah, Roberto Davila says, Buddy thinks it's Mukbang Thursday. He's still circling the table. He's over there. And where he knocked down the plate and where some of the food fell on the floor, he's like sniffing it. He's sniffing around. He's looking for it. He knows what he did. He's looking at me like he's giving me some stink eye. Which for him, it's 100% of his eyes because he only got one eye. So like it's double stink eye when Buddy gets it. So yeah. All right. Let's see what else we got. We got Dr. Josh is in here. What's going on, Josh? What up, fam? Good to see you. Yeah, Jordan, the chicken nuggets for lunch for the pup. Yeah, yeah. You know, I tell the baby all the time, the reason why the dog is always trying to get her food is, well, she's short and like the dog is more at her level. And so she's not short, she's appropriately sized for her age, but she's 4. So like the dog is always kind of like around her all the time when she has food. And she's like, why is that dog always bothering me? I'm like, because you always leave your food around and then he eats it. And so I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. And I warned her about those chicken nuggets today too, but she got distracted. I think she got distracted. Ryan Loma says, my pup has been to the ER twice to get scoped for eating an entire running hat, which you still use, and an adult sock. Well, I'm glad the dog's okay. But that's crazy. That's a lot for the dog to eat. I mean, our dog likes to eat Nutella, like the girls, I make them Nutella sandwiches for breakfast because I'm that kind of dad. And sometimes the baby leaves hers lying around and the dog now likes Nutella. And I'm like, dog, it's got chocolate in it. That's not good for you, dude. But he'll eat it anyway. And when I think when he eats the Nutella sandwich, I think he's doing it. I think it's an act of dominance because he knows it was the baby's. That's what I think. All right. Spencer says, I was going to Google today, but I'll ask you all, what's a good hill run look like? Can I find a 5% hill that's about 0.3 miles long? Will that do? Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. Yeah, I think what I've been doing is the hill over here, the hill in Chicago, Cricket Hill, over by the track. A lot of people fly their kites off of there. There was one time there was some sort of bike race like that was on that, and they had like made this course that you're going up and down it, left and right, and snake through it and stuff. It was some sort of endurance event, which I thought was pretty cool, but it's not giant. I don't know what the incline on it is. I don't know that. I don't think it's 5% grade. I think it's probably 2 or 3% grade. When I was in Guttenberg, that town is, there's bluffs in that hill. So like the hills are very steep all of a sudden. And there the hills were like 7 to 8% for about a half a mile. That was a lot. That was like a lot. I mean, it was like good for me. Like it would happen at the beginning or at the end of my workouts. And so like in that sense, it was good because then it was just like, you do it once. It's kind of like the warm up. I'm not running too fast, but the heart rate's getting moving. I'm getting some little strength workout. So like I like that. But I wouldn't have wanted them like in the middle of the run. That would have been tough. But I think 5% for about 0.3 miles. I don't know how long that would take to run. I mean, it depends on what kind of hill run you're trying to do. If you're just going to go up and down it a whole bunch of times, I think that would definitely do it. Longer would be good too, because that way you're not spending so much time on the downhill. But if you're going to do sprints, I don't know that you need 0.3 of a mile. You could probably get away with like half that if you're doing like sprints. Even some longer sprints you'll probably be able to do. So I think that would probably work. But I've never really written a hill running workout before. The other hill running workout that I liked that I ran over in Guttenberg, there was a different way that I could go that if I took that route, it was pretty much either uphill or rolling the entire time in the out and back. So it'd be like an 11-mile run and 5 miles of it were either like gradual uphill or flat. And that was a pretty nice one. I miss that route. But man, I had to run past some houses with some interesting flags out front on that one. So that was an interesting route. All right, Joe H wants to know, what's your opinion on bagels pre and post run? I think they're great. One of my fondest memories, one of my few memories from high school cross country is I went to 2 different high schools. We moved in the middle of my high school. But the first high school that I went to in Monmouth County, went to Monmouth Regional. The cross country coach, we would have practices on the beach and on Saturday mornings. And so we'd go run on the beach barefoot. I guess you could, I think sometimes we ran in our shoes, but you could run barefoot too. But it was just like, if you ran in your shoes, it wouldn't take more than like a minute for your shoes to be full of sand. So I think everyone pretty much ended up going barefoot. And then that would be like the Saturday run and be like an hour running. And then afterwards, the coach would have chocolate chip bagels and butter. That was so delicious. Bagels on the East Coast, oh, they're so good. They're so good. They just can't be replicated. It's such a delicious bread to eat. And then I'm not a big fan of butter, but as like a bread topping, I'm a cream cheese guy all the way. I'll eat that or like, jelly or almond butter. Like, but I just plain like butter is not something I would pick. But those chocolate chip bagels are not something I would pick. But that combo was really good, and I loved eating those after practice. That and like an orange or a lemon lime Gatorade. Again, another weird combo, but after a run, so good. Nutritionally, I think you could go with some more protein in there. So pair that with like a protein shake. I think that'd be great for post run. Pre, I think it'd be pretty good too, because I think a lot of those carbs are gonna like get burnt up pretty fast. But like a bagel is a lot of carbs in it. I think when you're looking at a bagel, if you eat a whole bagel, you're looking at like anywhere between like 30 and 50 grams of carbs. So it's a good amount. All right. Scotty B says, any solutions, tips for a closed outdoor track? Jump the fence or lock cutters or other? Yeah, if it's locked, I'm going to assume that they don't want people on there. I'm not going to say I haven't hopped a fence before, but what I've done, I don't go to a track often, but when in Iowa, the only track that I have kind of available to me is the one at the high school that my nieces and nephews go to, one that some of my nieces and nephews go to, the one that my wife went to. And there, for a while, they were redoing it. A lot of like the stands and like the ticket, like the entryway area and stuff. So like they couldn't lock it off. So that was nice. So I could just go whenever. I wasn't going like during the school year because I'd be back during like, Christmas break, Thanksgiving break, summer, that kind of thing. And then recently, since they've done all that, now a lot of the fences all locked up. But when I did like the Koros, like the lap counter, like GPS test, there's probably like 6 different entryways to the track. The 6th one wasn't locked. So I'm like, okay. So I just make sure you check all of the fences first before you hop it. That makes me feel a little bit better. Evan Shorts, I don't know if this is April Fool's or what. What's going on, Evan? He says, Ben True eats 6 bagels the morning of a race. I don't know if that's true or not. And in the long run, Josh says, Scotty B, if you jump the fence, you may be watching the stream from the county jail. The only thing that that bothers me about because I remember in high school, like it was very clearly marked that our high school track was open to the public. They were like, be mindful when like high school like students are here, or if there's a track meet, the full track's going to be in use, that kind of thing. But it was very clear there was like, walkers stay to the outside lanes, it goes counterclockwise, all that stuff. So there was like clearly inviting people to use it. The one at the high school in Iowa and Dubuque County, Western Dubuque High School, that one, doesn't have that kind of language on there. So I presume that like it's not really open to the public. Which I think is unfortunate because especially since it's a public school. Yeah, I would be I wouldn't hop a fence for a track if school is in session. I would say that for sure. Otherwise, then, if it's like a Saturday, or Sunday morning. Yeah. If someone asks me to leave, I'll leave, All right. Evan Schwartz says that it is true that the banter eats 6 bagels on the morning of race. That's a lot. Yeah, and Jeff Ellie says, in the past, I might have jumped, but with the pandemic, I've been avoiding schools altogether. That's also true. That's another thing. Because like when we were back in Iowa, schools were in session for a long time there. They did 4 days a week of school, and then the 5th day was remote. And I don't think anyone ever did anything really. I don't even think that they had like remote classes. I think the 5th day was like some sort of catch-up day. I'm not sure what they did, but they went 4 days a week. And I was like, I'm not going anywhere near that place. So that was something I did different. All right. We got a couple more here. Timothy Betts says, for my local school, the gate for the track is open, but it's hit or miss in the afternoon, evenings if you can run or not. Often they have football practice or school-related stuff on. Yeah, so I think that's going to be like the harder part. But like, so I think it's going to depend on the track. I think you can always kind of like check it out, scope it out. But I also feel like if you're like the only one out there running and school isn't in session and like the parking lot's closed, I don't know. I presume that the school has some sort of security measure. So it's not like I'm sure someone was able to see that I was doing it, but I don't know. And Carlos Rivera says, if it's a public school, it should be open to the public outside of school hours. It should. Because like the other thing was there is a closer track to me or to where we were in Iowa, but it was at the local Catholic school. And so I was like, I don't know about that. Because I've seen people out there walking along the track, on the weekends and off hours and stuff. But I was like, I don't know. In that area, Catholicism is a little bit different than my other experiences with it. And so like, I don't know if they're like, it'd be cool with it if you're a member of the local Catholic church or the parish, I guess is that the word? If you're like a local member, if you send your kids there, but like other people that don't belong, I don't know. I didn't know, like, I didn't even want to bother with it. So I just drove past that and I went to the public school. So that's what I did. But yeah, I mean, it depends. I think the other way you could probably do it is, I don't know if you look at a Strava heat map, I'm guessing a lot of the high school kids probably not on Strava. So they're probably not like, marking it down when they're out there for practice. But if there's other people that are walkers or other adults, like grownups that are running on the track, they might be tracking their stuff out there. So that might give you an indication of like how public is this place. And where was this? Someone said they just got on the Harewood Field after dark. Now that's one that I would not think that you could just go on. Will Willing says, my son somehow got on the Harewood Field after dark. Yeah, I would not venture. I would not hop a fence there. That's something that I would not do. CV76 says, if you build a track, will runners come? In Iowa? No, not really. Not really. They're doing some construction in the park here in Lincoln Park. And I see that they're making another soccer field out there. Like they're like leveling the field and like there's a lot of construction activity happening right by us. But I'm like, oh, there's enough room over here for another track. But I mean, like the track up, that's a little bit further up. It's about 2.5 miles north of here. That one's not that busy. Like when I take my kids to the playground that's near there on the weekends, like for a lot of the time, there's no one using it. I know it's still early in the year. Maybe in the summer it'll be busier, but I mean, it's not like we need another one 2.5 miles away. Would I complain if there were one? Not at all, but we don't need it. So Josh says, one time in college, I didn't finish my workout when a soccer game was starting. Well, that's nice. That's good. I could easily see them being jerks about it. Be like, we got a game starting, son. Jeff Elliott says, last year when my son was in school and doing band practice, I'd be out on the track once a week while he had practice. It was nice. Now I think that that's awesome from like a parent's perspective. And I feel like there should be a lot more of that kind of stuff where there's like kids activities, like that park that I was doing the time trials in Dyersville. That's like a cement loop that's around like a playground, a couple of ball diamonds, and a couple of soccer fields, right? And I feel like I wish that more of the parents would be like, drop your kids off at practice, do something active, if just walking. And then when practice is done, you're already there. I love that. But I feel like if I did that, my daughter would be mortified. If like, especially if her dad's out there with a camera on a selfie stick and in 2-inch shorts and got like spikes on the track while she's out there for band practice, I think that my daughter would just die. But that's the exact kind of intentionally embarrassing my daughter that I would love to do. That sounds like a great idea. That sounds amazing, Jeff. Oh, my 2 cents says, did you say you were in Ottawa? That's where I'm from. I'm curious what track you're talking about. I was in Iowa. Sorry. I kind of mumbled that when we were in Iowa. Sorry. Vegan Runner says, I would love a track to run on. Nothing locally, so just do loops of the local cricket ground. You know what I was spotting earlier? There's an area between here and the track where there's tennis courts and just an open field. And it's like a giant square of grass. That I think people get out there and like play soccer and stuff, but I've seen some events out there, but it's not like set up specifically as soccer fields, but it's a very flat section of grass. And I was thinking that over the summer, that could be a really great place for me to, well, I guess I could start doing it now, but just the ground isn't that soft yet. It's still pretty hard. A good place to do some speed work on grass out there. Just take some of the kind of like impact off my knees. So that's one of the things I'm gonna be looking at. Just because like I remember I've been watching a lot of Ben's videos, and he does a lot of his work along like a 1 kilometer grass loop, and I'm like, that's a really, I mean, that's an old school idea, but like it makes a lot of sense. And I feel like more people should be doing that. I should be taking advantage of those things. So I think I'm going to do that. I don't think, I mean, unless you really need to be doing like 200s and 100s, I don't think that you're really missing out. That's why I don't really end up at the track very often. Yeah. And he says, look, it's nice to run on softest ground. Apparently the Kenyans avoid tarmac. When I was reading, what was I listening to? The other one, it was not running with the Kenyans, but it was the other one that was read. The audiobook was read by a guy that sounds exactly like Welsh Runner. So much so that I had to check to make sure it wasn't Welsh Runner, that book. And he was describing like the way that Kenyans are running. And they spend a lot of their time on materials they don't get onto tarmac until like pavement or concrete. It's part of their race specific training. Like it's not just like, today I guess I'm running this route. So like, it's a little bit of concrete today. Like they specifically avoid it, at least in the training groups that he was in, until it's like time to get race adapted for like your road marathon or your road half marathon. And I just thought that was an very interesting approach. Whereas me, like if I go southbound, half that time I'm going to be on concrete. So half the time I'll be on blacktop / there's a little bit of like a dirt type of thing on the side of it that I can find. But the other time, it's actual concrete, which is very, very hard. And I've been thinking about that a lot too. And so sometimes I've been going north. It's not as scenic, but there's more time for me to be on a softer surface or on asphalt blacktop and not concrete. So I've been kind of like trying to be kinder to my body. I guess I'm getting older, All right. Okay. I think it's a good place to end it for today, guys. Tomorrow's video, I'm not sure. I had originally planned for tomorrow to be kind of like looking at data dive because I've been wearing the Vantage M2 and the Ignite 2 for a week, but I'm not super excited about making that video. It's going to be really long. I'm not sure how many people are really going to be interested in it. So I'm trying to find ways to like really make it shorter instead of being like, here's 8 days worth of data. Let's compare. I just think it's a really great way to make a 30-minute video that like 7 people watch the whole thing. So I think we're going to figure out what it is. Either that or it's just going to be a video set to music. I'm not sure Yeah, we'll see. But we will have a live stream in the afternoon, 3 p.m. Central Time, same as today. And hopefully I'll see you guys then. In the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.